Hi beautiful, thank you very much for watching. So far in the anti-aging playlist, we talked about the basic foundation that we all need to have regardless of age, race, or which type of aging we're predisposed to, and I also showed you how you can determine that. We went into more details about the wrinkling kind, and I also gave you a wide variety of different foods with anti-aging properties that you should incorporate into your daily diet. This way you can double tag and fight aging from the inside as well. There is so much more we still need to cover. We have to talk about sagging, brown spots, how to take care of our necks, our hands. We have to dive deeper into preventing future wrinkles. We are never gonna run out of things to talk about in this playlist. Now, Botox is one of those things that is very highly talked about when it comes to anti-aging. So for that reason, I wanted to take you with me to my semi-annual appointment. I wanted you to be in the room as we get the procedure done, so not exactly for the faint of heart, this video. And I also wanted you to meet my beloved dermatologist, Dr. Kramer. I've been seeing him for years. He's absolutely amazing. He helped me get rid of my acne, which many of you know was a huge issue. And he is amazing. If you are in Orange County, LA, San Diego areas, essentially, he's the guy you need to know. I learned a lot about Botox actually while recording this session for you. I also learned one new thing when it comes to anti-aging that I had no idea about. Mind blown. So I'm really happy that I get to share this with you so you all know about it. And we also did a Q&A because some of you have actually submitted some questions, so I wanted to make sure we get those questions answered. And that's it. If you enjoyed this video throughout or you learned something new, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and definitely check out Dr. Kramer because he is amazing and you're going to love him. And that is it. Let's get started. We're set up. So everybody, I'd like for you to meet my amazing dermatologist, Dr. Edward Kramer. Say hi.
Hello.
So I've been coming to see Dr. Kramer for, I don't know, 7 years or something like that. He's been working with my husband's family for some time now, so he came highly recommended. And if you guys watched a video I did a long time ago where I talked about acne and how I showed you guys some pictures about how bad my acne was, well, it's thanks to this man right here that I get to look like this today. So I've been seeing Dr. Kramer for a long time, and you've been doing my Botox because I am getting older. So yeah, I wanted you guys to meet him, and maybe you can tell my friends a little bit about you so they get to know you.
Sure, my name is Edward Kramer. I'm a dermatologist. I did my training at University of Michigan. I went undergrad, and then I went to Georgetown University for medical school, and then I did my dermatology also in Washington, D.C. at George Washington University, and came out to California to practice, and I've been here ever since. And you know, today we're going to be focusing on Botox, which is a fascinating topic and substance. I've been using Botox since 1996, and I just realized today it's been 20 years, which is starting to sound like a long time. But you know, Botox came on the scene about that time. It was first used just for eyelids, which were kind of twitchy. So twitchy eyelids was the first indication. And it's actually an interesting story. The two people who are most responsible for the current use of Botox were the Carruthers. It was a husband and wife team up in Vancouver. And Jean Carruthers is an ophthalmologist. Her husband, Alistair, is a dermatologist. So Jean was working, was one of the first investigators to use Botox for twitchy eyelids. So all of her patients were saying, yeah, Jean, this stuff's pretty good. My twitch is better, but even better than that is my wrinkles are gone. So they were
forget about that twitchy eye. We got the wrinkles gone.
Exactly. So you know, she said to her husband, and you know, Alistair, being the dermatologist, she said, you know, come in here and look at these patients of mine. Their wrinkles are going away. And you know, Alistair looked at it and asked what she was doing, and he started to figure out dosing and how best to make this work for wrinkles all around the face, not just the ones by the eyes. So that's kind of how Botox got going. And it was about a year or two after that that I heard about Botox at a chemical peel meeting of all things. And it wasn't yet FDA approved for wrinkles, but it was FDA approved for the twitchy eyelids. So,
and now it's used for migraines and a bunch of like sweaty underpits, right?
All kinds of applications, yeah. So there's GI applications, gastrointestinal problems, all kinds of different things. But about half of it is used for cosmetic purposes.
That is amazing, and that is what we are going to do today.
So what I'm going to do first is just clean off the areas that we're going to be treating today. So Botox is, as mentioned, great stuff. It has pros and cons like any other treatment, cosmetic treatment. The good things about Botox are how well it works. It works really well. So it always pretty much does what we want it to, as long as it's injected appropriately. So that's good. The results are very favorable. Most people are very satisfied and happy with their Botox. Other good things about Botox are safety. It's a very safe substance to use when used appropriately. It's virtually impossible to inject too much of this or create a toxicity. So,
I have several friends in Orange County that say Botox can never be enough. Oh my god, I'm moving my face. I need more Botox. But you know what I like about when Dr. Kramer does my Botox? We don't inject too much to where my face doesn't move. My face does move, so you can actually have facial expressions while using Botox. Most people think that, oh, you're just gonna be frozen. That's not entirely true. I move my face and I can still move my eyebrows, but of course it's not the same kind of movement. But I show expression, so it's just a matter of how much you put in, and you don't have to go overboard.
Yeah, for sure. And we don't want patients to look weird or frozen. And that's another advantage of injecting this. You can do it in such a way where it does look very natural. The other thing is there's very little to no downtime with Botox. Unless someone gets a little bruise or a little redness, for the most part, they get up and go as if nothing happened immediately afterwards, and it's hard to tell we did anything. So that's another advantage. The only real significant disadvantage is that it doesn't last forever. So we wish it lasted a little bit longer. On average, it lasts about 4 months. If people keep up with their Botox and like it, and they use it routinely, it will start lasting longer, maybe up to 6 months. And the way it works, it just relaxes the muscle. When you relax the muscle, the wrinkles get better. So that's pretty much how it works.
Love it.
And good stuff. So I'm gonna put some numbing cream on.
And when he says some, he means like a lot, because I'm a baby. I can't say that enough times.
Now I'm gonna be using this a little bit unconventionally. I won't say unconventionally, but it's an area I like to inject also a little bit under the eye. Not all injectors use it there, but we find it to be very safe to do there, and as long as you use the appropriate amount, it works beautifully in that area as well. Now Alexandra is a very special patient in person, obviously, and she, interestingly enough, the most common place we inject Botox is for the 11s. Some patients are really good at frowning, and they get these creases here. We call them the 11s. In her situation, she's so happy and nice she never frowns. So she doesn't have any 11s, and some people are just unable to form those wrinkles or lines in this area. So if they were there, we would easily treat those as well, but they're not there, so we're going to leave that area alone. We are going to do the forehead, and we're going to go around the eyes, and that'll give her the desired results that she wants.
I don't even know how many. I've actually never bothered to ask how many units we do.
I customize the units to each individual patient's situation, so we're going to be using about 20 to 25 units around the eyes, and on the forehead I tend to go lower dose because we don't want to have any eyebrow issues. If you use too much Botox on the forehead or put it in the wrong place, the brow doesn't want to come up so easily. It'll help the wrinkles, but the brow is a problem. So you have to be very sensitive to brow positioning. So there I'm going to go very low dose and maybe use 10 units. Basically a lot of the wrinkle lines that we develop are just a function of normal facial expressions. So when we smile, we can get these lines. When we purse our lips or drink out of a straw,
Duck face.
or God forbid smokers, you get the smoker lines. When people frown, they get the frown lines. Raise your eyebrows, you get these lines. Squinting and smiling create the lines around the eyes. So it is impossible and not necessarily desirable to stop facial expression. I mean, everyone emotes and expresses, so that's all good. But as we age, all of that facial expressivity starts to show up as wrinkle lines. So there's a couple different scenarios as a dermatologist that I face when trying to help people with their wrinkles and aging processes. You know, one group of patients come in, they're in their 50s and 60s or late 40s, and those lines are already well established, and we can soften them and help them, but we're not going to necessarily be quite as effective as if we're dealing with a younger person in their 30s, maybe occasionally late 20s or 30s is a popular age to start this.
I started at 29.
29, perfect. It is a great way to slow down the process and even prevent some of these lines. So by starting at an early age, then one can maintain a more youthful look, for several decades, as opposed to letting it all go and then trying to fix it later. As far as trying to minimize bruising, the avoidance of different medications like aspirin, Advil, Motrin, Aleve, ibuprofen, all those things can make anyone bruise a little more easily. So if the patient can avoid those for a week before their treatment, then that's going to minimize bruising to a certain extent. It's still possible, but less likely. So that's always a good idea. Post-treatment for Botox, usually we just tell our patients, you can immediately just go do whatever you like, no special restrictions. We used to think that head position was important. We're not so concerned about that anymore, but some of my patients, like yoga, and a few of them even stand on their heads. So I say, if you have to stand on your head, wait 3-4 hours, just so it's not moving somewhere we don't want it to go. But in reality, that probably doesn't matter either. So there's not a whole lot to do afterwards, unless one gets a bruise or a little bit of swelling. Some ice would be helpful.
What would you give, aside from Botox, what's a tip that you could give all my women friends watching right now to help in the prevention of aging, sagging, spotting, wrinkling, things like that? Like an umbrella tip. Many of my viewers are very educated when it comes to using SPF and things like that. But what would you say is something that you can share with us that is a great tip that is going to help?
The anti-aging, a lot of it is preventable to a certain degree. There's certain things we're just never going to be able to stop, at least with present technology.
Yeah.
But you've hit on probably the most important thing is your sunscreen. And in the ideal world, people are using an SPF 30 or higher sunscreen, and they're applying it every morning. You don't want to use it just if you think you're going to be out.
Yeah.
You really want to use it every morning. You even get ultraviolet radiation from these fluorescent bulbs that are over our heads.
Wait, are you kidding? Like this? Really?
It's very
thank God I have SPF on.
It's very low level, but nevertheless.
But still, every day you're in it all the time.
Exactly, and just walking to the car on a rainy day, you're still going to get some exposure. So wearing it every morning is a great way to prevent premature aging, wrinkling, brown spots, all the things people don't really care for as time goes on. So that would be my number one tip. And then other anti-aging factors of all the different creams and potions and lotions that are out there, and we know this is a multi-billion-dollar industry. I like to personally base my decisions on what we call evidence-based medicine, meaning that we can show patients placebo groups, control groups who've received a certain substance, and then people who've received the placebo substance, and look at the results, which one's working better. So of all the different creams out there, it's the retinoid class that has the most evidence to show that it can help reverse sun damage, help restore collagen, sometimes even help with visual changes for fine lines or spots, although most of what it does is microscopically. But again, in the ideal world, it's sunscreen every morning, maybe a retinoid a few times a week at night. And then all the other things are helpful as well, but those are the two most important in my opinion.
Thank you. I'm so glad we're doing this, you guys. I definitely plan on filming him doing the Botox so you guys can see up close and personal if you haven't already. If you have a weak stomach or you don't care to see this, you might want to just look at the description box below and see if you are anywhere near Dr. Kramer. I'll put all of his contact information and any social links that they have, and I know you guys have a Facebook page and things like that. And I guess you're ready for me. Should I lay down? All right, here we go.
I'm going to have you smile real big and relax. The smiling just helps me see where the lines want to form or where they are. And it's just a series of these little tiny injections.
You just feel a pinch.
And then keep your eye closed for a moment. And then smile again and relax. And then I want you to raise your eyebrows as high as you can and relax. Raise your eyebrows one more time. Relax. We're just going to put a little bit lower here because we can get away with it in the central forehead. And that's it.
Woo! It's like I always get so worked up, you know, and then I'm like, oh my god, yeah, that was literally it. 2 minutes and 44 seconds since we started the camera, but we didn't start right then, you know, so. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please make sure you're subscribed and you check out Dr. Kramer. Thank you so much for being here. I love you and I really appreciate you. If you have any other video suggestions or questions, make sure to leave them in a comment below. May good luck and fortune follow you everywhere you go today and every day. I'll see you again in a few days in a new video. Bye!